Hello, my name is Elle, and I'm the host of the Mage System. I asked for some questions to do a Q&A for the alters Ginger, Brigitte, Alena, and me, because those were the alters that I think we would be comfortable having online answering questions. So I'm just going to be answering the questions for me. I'm the host of the system. I am in charge of doing the day-to-day life stuff, deciding the general course of our life and what we're going to be doing. I'm a bit messy at the moment. I was a psych major and I'm still going to go back to doing that. But right now I'm taking a break from college and I'm going to save up some money right now. So I don't know why I just gave you like my life plans or as the intro, but yeah. Okay, from Aria the Royal. In general, whoever wants to answer, how weird do you think you are on a scale from 1 to 7 compared to the rest of your system and the general public? I would think maybe like a 5. I have DID. I'm transgender. I'm autistic. I have ADHD. I'm an alternative person. I'm interested in taboo subjects. So I would say probably like a 5. What's Elle's favorite kind of music? Well, I am a goth, so I do enjoy goth music a lot, but I also like rock/indie, though that's not very specific. Like, you know, whenever you Google the genre of a band and it just says rock, and you're like, thank you. Because rock could mean anything from Cannibal Corpse to the Beatles. But I guess I'll just tell you some of my favorite bands. The Cure, Radiohead, Massive Attack, Blonde Redhead, Bauhaus, and Billie Eilish. But I enjoy almost everything except country because I think you have to be like, you have to have just like grown up in that environment, I think, to enjoy country. I feel like that's just one that you have to be just like born in that America type of culture to enjoy. And most metal that is non-new metal, I wish I was into like really heavy metal, but I just can't. I guess it's just not in my DNA. Like that's just Alena's thing. I just don't have that much inside of me. Foxtail Films 8872 asks how to build a small front room or anything so we aren't just energy swirling around in the void. So I don't have a great answer for this. We used to have an inner world, but we do not anymore. I don't know what happened to it. We've tried to reconstruct it many times, but it just hasn't worked. Maybe we'll try again. But I will tell you a method that has worked for some people and that we have tried before, and it used to work, but now it doesn't. If you have aphantasia, which basically means if I tell you to picture an apple and tell me what color it is, you can't do that because you just can't make pictures in your mind. That's just not how your mind works. Then this isn't going to work for you. But if you can imagine pictures and stuff in your mind, just imagine a room, what kind of things you would want to have in it. Go ask around, go ask people what kind of things they would want in it. I know our old front room was just this semicircle, and at the flat side there was just a giant screen, like a movie theater, taking up the whole wall. And it was a pretty small room, but it displayed whatever was coming into our eyes. And then along the wall were just these comfy black chairs for people to come sit in. And then there were doors to people's rooms that they could go into. And when we were co-conscious, the person would be looking out the eyes who was fronting, and then the other people would be sitting in the room chatting or whatever. How to let the host stay in the inner world instead of nothing whenever not in the body. I can't really answer this very well because I have never really stayed in the inner world while someone else was fronting. I don't know why. It just hasn't been a thing that has happened. I don't know exactly the science behind that. But I feel like it may be a common experience for hosts to not be able to do that. I really don't know. I really don't know, guys. Comment down below. How to tell the difference between who's who in our head, because sometimes it's obvious it's another person and other times we feel like it's made up and that we're pretending. Okay, so I have something to tell you about this. So I invented just a word for this, okay? Say you are out and you just start not really feeling good, not really feeling like yourself, but you just think you're just feeling weird. I don't know, maybe I'm hungry or something, but I've already eaten, so I don't know why I feel bad or just don't feel like myself or just feel off or whatever. That might be because there is another alter there that is trying to be themselves, but you are still trying to be yourself and you don't really realize that they're there. So that is the feeling. And I named it feeling stale, like you've been out too long. So start just recognizing whenever you feel stale, and then, okay, asking yourself, okay, well, who else is trying to come into the front? And then the second thing I would have to say about this is that positive triggers, I'm not saying come out and like pull up something to positively trigger your alter, but more so just think, okay, well, if there's other people in the headspace right now, well, let me think about things that Ginger likes to see if those and like spark joy, and then maybe I can identify that she's in there. So I think of like just, I don't know, makeup or like a long, pretty red-haired person or whatever. And if I feel that energy present, then I know it's her. However, once you do that enough over a long period of time, you can start just identifying their general vibes. Like you can just sort of feel, oh, Ginger's vibe is near the front or whatever. But yeah, that's generally very helpful. But it's something you have to be very mindful about at first, because at first you're not used to it. So you have to consciously imagine it and like until it eventually just starts happening naturally. I really like how you're able to answer some of this, because I can find many unique answers and a lot of your takes are unique. Really appreciate that. That's what I try to do on this channel, because I don't want to be one of not knocking anybody, because I think everybody, it is beautiful how unique everyone's channel and system and way of presenting themselves is, but I do like being not just saying the same sort of explanations that everyone else does and trying to add something new there. This question is from XXSophXX. I'd love to hear if any one of you have some fave memes or funnies that you enjoy. I have some for you that I will put in editing. Or maybe rant about current hyperfixations if you got any. Oh Lord, how do I do that? This one might be fun. Do you guys know Terrare? Okay, so Terrare was a man that was alive in the 1700s, and by the time he was 17, he could eat his entire body weight every day and still be hungry. He could eat like 12 three-course meals or some shit every day and still be hungry. This is like the only time in history this kind of thing has ever been documented. His parents had to kick him out because he kept eating too much, and so he became like a street performer, and he would eat like bags of coins and stones and okay, trigger warning for the trigger warning. I'm just gonna put a timestamp. He eats a live animal. And there's also something to do with a baby later, which you can probably extrapolate what that is, but I think I'll just put a timestamp to skip that, even though you probably already know what I'm. But he would do that on the street for money, and eventually he got drafted into the military. The rations weren't enough for him, and he had to be put in a hospital for just exhaustion because the rations weren't enough to sustain him. And so this doctor had him stay in this hospital so they could like study him and stuff, and again, animal stuff right here, but they put a live cat in the room with him, and he ate it. He didn't even kill it first. Like he just ate the cat and he digested it. And another thing was really interesting is that he stunk really bad, and after he ate, he stunk even worse. And apparently there was visible steam that came off of him after he ate. Eventually, a 14-month-old, or not 14-month, I can't remember if it was 14-month or 14-week-old baby ended up disappearing from the hospital, and everybody was like, Terrare, what happened? And the doctor just couldn't defend him anymore, and they had to kick him out of the hospital. Eventually, he died. He went back to the hospital because he swallowed a golden fork, and he told them that it was lodged in his, like, inside somewhere. Sorry, this is... Yeah, eventually he died of like pneumonia or something, but they did an autopsy on him, and his gullet was just like huge, and his stomach was just huge. People say it might be an extreme case of hyperthyroidism, just an extremely fast metabolism, but no, like the fact that he stunk and steam was coming off of him after he ate, the fact that he could digest coins and live animals, like, what the fuck? That's just one of the cases in history that blows my mind, and it's never happened since. So yeah, there's Terraria, guys. There's also a new app for DID/OSDD systems out that might be something to make a video out. It's called Octocon, and it's meant to work as both Simply Plural and Plural Kit since it has a Discord bot. It also is more concerned with privacy, which is pretty cool. I don't know if that's enough for a new video because it basically is another version of Simply Plural and Plural Kit, but I think it's pretty neat so far. I did look this one up, and it's not out on iOS yet, so I can't look at it yet, but I will be sure to look at that as soon as it comes out. Lilith Lynn asks, these questions are for everyone. How does your autism and ADHD affect you differently? Is there different levels of severity? And do you have different or the same stims? Does everybody have the same symptoms? And is your ADHD the same type or not? I think the other alters have covered this pretty well in their Q&As, but no, our autism and ADHD symptoms are not the same. And it's actually very interesting because some alters are not very symptomatic of one or both of those conditions, mainly just one of them. Not all of them are symptomatic of it, so it is pretty weird. And I don't know, because the general, like, what people say on Reddit and stuff is that if the brain has autism and ADHD, then everyone in the system is going to have it. But as we know, like, different alters can have, I don't know. It's really weird because you could just say, well, they're just different levels of severity. But it's like at a certain point, they just don't meet the criteria for that disorder anymore. Like it doesn't cause distress on their functioning whenever they're out. And it's just a really interesting question to think on, everybody. I definitely have more ADHD symptoms than I think anyone else in the system. I don't know why. It's not very beneficial to me as the alter that's in charge of doing everyday tasks, is it? So yeah, as far as autism, I don't know. Other alters are pretty autistic, some of them. So I guess, I don't know. Ginger has the least amount of autism, I would say. Anyways, we hope everyone is well and that whatever you're going through right now, it'll be fine in the end. Thank you for making the videos. They really help our system. We really appreciate that. We're fine. We're good in the context of just the last 6 years or something like that. It's a generally pretty good period. Lexi is Gay asks, do different alters have differing food preferences? Yes, we do. My favorite food is just a bunch of wheat, Kraft mac and cheese. Don't really like any other kind of mac and cheese except Kraft mac and cheese, but Kraft mac and cheese, ramen, and French bread. Like just a loaf of French bread from the bakery. I will be on that like a great white shark on meth, which is unfortunate because I have a small allergy to gluten. Sleepy Oat asks, whoever wants to answer, what are your thoughts on using Picrew for face claims? Your video on plural apps made me wonder about this. So I went ahead and tried that for the first time before I made this video just to inform myself on this. I will put some up that I've made, and I made, some little Picrews of the alters, and it was pretty nice. It worked, and I thought it was pretty fun. I think it's a pretty fun option for people to try that. I mean, I've never heard of anyone having any issues with doing that. So I would definitely recommend, giving that a try and making some little, it's basically this app where you customize these little characters and you give them like their own hair and skin options. Kind of like designing a character in a video game, and you can just make a picture of your alter. I might make an entire video on face claims in the future. So the last thing I wanted to talk about in this video is just my recent channel growth and the fact that we just hit 2K subscribers. I want to thank you all so much for giving this channel support. I'm going to try and be more consistent now because I think it's good for us and I think it's good for our system, and some of the content is something you guys enjoy, and also I need some money, so I'm gonna try and just throw myself at YouTube a little more and see if maybe I can amass some even more growth. That'd be cool. And yeah, I just hit 2K subscribers, so that is so amazing. That's so cool. I don't think I ever expected that to happen, so that's pretty awesome. I recently got a shout out from a bigger YouTuber called Hannah the Horrible that just makes, creepy and disturbing content about like paranormal stuff or like creepy internet icebergs and stuff. If you don't like horror or that kind of stuff, I wouldn't watch her videos, but like if you're into that stuff like I am, they're pretty good. I really respect her. I sent her this like conspiracy theory-ish hyperfixation I had recently to her email, and she actually ended up covering it. And she asked if I wanted her to give me credit. So I said, yeah, sure. And actually, I have this little YouTube channel. And so, she shouted me out. So, hi to anyone who is new here. I really appreciate you being here, and you'll like it here. I make some pretty cool stuff. So, yeah. Thank you for watching, everyone. I really appreciate your viewership. Like this video. It helps out my channel. Leave me a comment. Not even just for engagement. I just really love reading everybody's thoughts and stuff. And let me know what you think about Terrare. Thank you. Also, anytime you're hungry, just say you feel like you're gonna Terrare. Just be like, guys, I feel like I'm gonna Terrare. I think I need a Terrare soon.